everyone. So we are talking today about the superhero movie dilemma. And I was thinking, I grew up with comic books when they were coming into their own, I guess is the best way to put it. And a lot of them are around, but back then comics had something really fun. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I came up with my list of 10 comics that I believe deserve a movie treatment? So we're going to kick it off with number 10. Now, most of you probably have never, ever heard of this, but it's called Empire. And it was back, I believe, in the 90s. And this was really the first comic that went to the point of the supervillain won, what happens now. And it was the most complex story. And it wasn't that he couldn't control the world, that he run it. It was all the people underneath him and his corporation that was starting to try to get to him. And it was just a brilliantly designed comic with a great story that I think ended after 5 issues, because this was back in the time when comic creators made it popular and then just disappeared off the face of the planet. So Empire is one of those ones that I definitely think would be fun, because I think it's time we get a movie about the villains that's not Despicable Me or Megamind, because those are geared towards kids. Let's get an adult one, as bad as it is to say out loud. Going into number 9. With the popularity of Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, why have we not done anything with Elfquest? Oh my God, are you people kidding me? This is like one of the classic fantasy properties, and it's just sitting there in oblivion. It was, I think most of us in the studio grew up with Elfquest. I mean, it was absolutely amazing, and the art was awesome, and yet everyone flocks to these other fantasy movies, which as good as they are, but I think Elfquest could pretty much top all of them hands down. It's got a robust character set. It's got fantastic situations, great stories. The world is rich and vibrant and full, just as much as Lord of the Rings, but with more action. It's more than just walking to a mountain over 12 hours, people. Let's face it, that's what Lord of the Rings is. As much as I love it, it's a bunch of walking. Let's get some real action in there with Elfquest. So going to number 8, the most lauded superhero of all time, Aquaman. Now, they made it work in Entourage, which I know is completely fictitious, but let's face it, Aquaman is actually pretty badass when you get right down to it. He does not get nearly the amount of credit that he should, and that's simply because Robot Chicken made fun of him. And now everybody makes fun of him. Yeah, he can talk to fish, but he can do a lot more than just talk to fish. He's basically ruling the oceans, people. And if you think talking to fish doesn't mean anything, wait till you try to eat some damn sushi and it tries to bite you back. That's what Aquaman can do, and I would love to, I love Aquaman anyways. I'm going to defend him to my dying breath. I've got Aquaman Lego minifigures, toys, Sonic Happy Meal toys. I mean, I love Aquaman, and I think he deserves a proper movie treatment. So then going into number 7 is another oldie that I absolutely love, Witchblade. Like, J.J. Abrams came out this week and said he doesn't see enough hero females on his movie screen. I think he's right, and Witchblade has not been given any justice in the anime form or that horrible, horrible live-action series on TNT. This is a very gritty, dark comic about a woman who can kick everybody's ass, and it's all mystical power. I mean, where do you think all these shows like Supernatural and everything gets their inspiration from? It's from these original comics like Witchblade and Darkness and Fathom. Those are the 3 Trinity right there. I think Witchblade would just be a very strong, empowering female character, and, I think it would be good to see as opposed to, Supergirl, who's showing all her breasts, or what's the other one, Power Girl, where it's just like a huge hole right here. Barely she's covering her nipples. Witchblade doesn't do much better. I shouldn't have really gone there because hers is all, anyways, we're going to move on, but Witchblade would be awesome. Next, number 6, Shadows of the Empire. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, wait, that's just Star Wars. That doesn't really count. But let's face it, when Shadows of the Empire came out, Star Wars was really just kind of going away. This, I guarantee you, pretty much single-handedly put Star Wars back on the map. This was one of the most fantastic stories to ever be written in the Star Wars universe, and I really think we should either in an animated form or a live-action form. I want to see a good telling of Shadows of the Empire. And I think it would be good, especially now as we're getting to the new ones, to kind of go back and have some fun with the old ones, because I have a feeling people aren't going to like the new Star Wars as much as the original trilogy, because the original trilogy, it's like the Holy Grail. But this fit in with the original trilogy perfectly in a very brilliant way. So Shadows of the Empire comes in at number 6. Number 5, take Charlie's Angels, James Bond, mash them together with a little bit of Tomb Raider, and you get Danger Girl. This was one of my favorite comics when I think Cliffhanger came out of Image, and they had all the independent creators, and they were doing awesome things. It was fun, it was sexy, it was action-packed, it was over the top. This would be like if you took Fast and the Furious physics and put them in James Bond. That's what you would get. Like, anything can happen. You could jump up a cliff and no problems. Gunfights, Nazi robots, giant Nazi monstrosities, Nazis flying in the sky fighting. It was just lot of Nazi action in that one, but it was just probably one of the more sexy comics I think I remember reading, because like everything was just beautiful. And I like the Charlie's Angel movies, and I like the James Bond movies. I like to see them kind of mix up in a really fun way. So that's why I put Danger Girl on here. Going into number 4, one of our producers, Josh Ritter, loves this comic, and I'm just barely scratching the surface, but I'm already hooked. It's called Atomic Robo. If you like Doctor Who or you like these other fun things, you'd love Atomic Robo, because it's got like time traveling, giant robots, giant monsters. I mean, you name it, geek love, it's going to be in there. Like, I'm pretty sure at some point in time, like, you'll see a TARDIS in a panel just because it's that awesome. And I think this would be one of those ones that would probably be better as a series than a movie, but I would love to see it kicked off as a movie with a huge budget. And this could probably be something that could take on Doctor Who as like an Americanized version of Doctor Who, because I would watch this, it would kick ass. Then at number 3, Wonder Woman, the classic female superhero. Why do we not have anything better? The cartoon movie kicked ass. The original TV series rocked with, I forget what her name was, but she spun around in a circle, and that used to be my favorite part. Wonder Woman! You know, why do we not have a good Wonder Woman movie? Why can we not get anything Wonder Woman off the ground? The pilot's in limbo. It's not in limbo. There was a movie written that they just don't want to touch, and they're approaching Justice League now. They're just going to kind of shoehorn Wonder Woman into it. No one's going to really know. I want to see a really good Wonder Woman movie. So going into number 2, this is another one of the Trinity that I talked about earlier, which is The Darkness. Now, if you played the video game, you don't know what it is. The Darkness was one of those really dark, very violent. I mean, it's about a hitman who gets the power of darkness, and he can like kill things with demonlings and things. This would be a really awesome movie to see made, simply because it would kind of be like Saw mixed with Superman. I mean, that's the best way to put it. I mean, it would be so bizarrely twisted and crazy, is that even a word? Crazy and creature-filled. It'd be really fun to beat the hell out of that crappy movie Constantine, that's for sure. But going into number 1, my absolute favorite comic of all time, and if we're talking about fantasy, you need to talk about Battle Chasers. This is one of the holy grails of geekdom, because it kicked so much ass when it came out, and Joe Mad disappeared. He won't even let you ask him about it at conventions. I know, because I tried. He sighs and grunts and looks at you and just shoos you off. Because this was one of the greatest geek creations ever that nobody really got to get into because he canceled it quickly. Now, you want to talk about epic fantasy settings, epic characters, epic story. Everything is in place for this to become one of the best movie series ever. Like, it would knock out even Star Wars for me. But Joe Mad's a douchebag, apparently, and doesn't want to do anything with it. He doesn't even want to finish it. He didn't finish his own story. So I want to know, what would it take to get a Battle Chasers movie done? Because we seem to be on this rise of fantasy and fairy tale things. Let's start bringing back some really good ones. So Battle Chasers is definitely on my list. So that's been my top 10 list of comics that I think deserve movie treatment. Coming up next, we have a review with me and one of our staff members, Sarah, of The Internship.